Hi everyone, welcome back to our podcast series. And today we have Sunil with us, and he is an amazing person. He has been into this industry from past 20 plus years, and he's an entrepreneur and innovator with strong roots in the energy space. I welcome you, sir, and would love to know about you.
No, thanks a lot, Chavi. I mean, very happy to be, being here, the part of the platform here. Thanks a lot. Again, thanks a lot, audience here. Pleasure to have me here. Just to give a quick introduction from my side, I've been in the energy space for about close to about 20 years. In fact, a non-engineer, have done my business management in that space, but doing fairly well in the energy space despite being a non-technical guy. And used to lead the renewable space in PricewaterhouseCoopers. Been there for almost about 17 years. Started as an intern and came out as a partner. It's just a single line, one liner job basically. Definitely, it's a message out there because for people right now, people just leave the firms for about 1 year, 2 years, couple of months as well. But frankly speaking, the more time you spend there, I think it's a great opportunity to learn. So that's where I thought I should pass on that message to you guys. Post that, started my first startup called Ecoren Energy, where I was the co-founder as well, backed by Apollo Global and GE Capital. Used a solid scientific approach in identifying the best wind resource sites and build the company in about 4 years time. Started off with less than $1 million of capital, bootstrap completely, and grown the platform to $100 million in about 4 years time with 88x growth. And in a capital intensive business, achieving 60% gross margin was not a small feat. Have done that fairly well, and it's all using scientific approach, value creation to the ultimate customers is what we've done that. And post that, started this new platform called EdgeGrid, which is a climate tech platform trying to accelerate energy transition to zero carbon future, where our intent is to decarbonize the energy and ensure that every home, every vehicle, every user is moving to 100% climate friendly power. That's where we stand right now.
That's actually truly amazing. I actually admire you a lot for this. So, like, how you actually got this idea of making the energy for the future happen and like working on such a great mission? Like, how you actually like from where you came up with this?
Yeah, definitely. I think climate change is not a small issue, to be frank, right? And unfortunately, it is not tangible. We don't see that over a period of time is what we see the real impact of climate change. And it's one of the most important problem for people like even Google, Microsoft, Amazon, everybody, right? So everybody is trying to figure out what is the best way to solve this puzzle. And frankly speaking, always I used to admire the likes of Google, Microsoft, the way they've been creating impact. Even the new age companies, right, like Swiggy, Zomato, Kata Book, all of these guys, like using tech as a key enabler, they've been disrupting markets. And frankly speaking, I don't come from a tech background. It has been a challenge try to see that, but I could really see that tech can really solve even larger problems at much faster pace, and that's more challenging and that's more fun as well. And being in the energy space, I could clearly see that it's not a small problem to be solved. And apart from climate change, what we also have seen that the current business model that have been there in the industry have not been that impactful. While you build large scale power plants and supply power to the government, we feel that yes, I think we are accelerating energy transition by promoting renewable, but I'm not sure if every home, every user is being able to move towards climate friendly power. And apart from that, what we also have is that we have likes of MNCs like Hindustan, Unilever Limited, or Procter and Gamble, or Nestle, or Microsoft, where they're able to solve their own climate change problems, by procuring renewable power. But I felt that the last mile market, right, which is your individual homes, apartments, agriculture, farms, vehicles, etc., they're so fragmented in such a huge market, which we felt that it's not solved right now. And that's where we felt that using a tech approach is where we felt we'll be able to solve these, solve the puzzle for the last mile market. And today, what we believe is that if you really have to move towards energy transition, it has to be profitable as well. And the current business models that we have today, having large scale power plants supplying power from very remote locations to the end customers, we believe it's not going to be easy. It's going to be very expensive. So, if you have to have a sustainable and profitable energy transition for every user, which it means that the change should comes in their minds, in their lives, in their lifestyle. So, which means that we need to be closer to their homes, closer to their minds, and closer to their hearts. So that is the reason why we felt that unless we have some kind of a visibility or engagement with the end user from a climate friendly concept perspective, this change can't happen. And that can happen only by way of a tech platform. So we are trying to build a climate tech platform for the last mile energy, which is nothing but your commercial building owners, tenants, electric vehicles, EV drivers, swapping station networks, homes, societies, etc., and try to engage with them very closely and enable this transition to 100% climate friendly power.
That's something really amazing. Following up to this, I would love to know that how was the response of this great thing in Indian market, and also as well as, like, you might have tried approaching this to the foreign markets as well. So how was the response? Like, was there any difference? Was there any ups and downs that you have faced while approaching it?
Yeah. Actually, once we understood the problem statement that we have to accelerate energy transition to 100% climate friendly power, so we were spending time trying to understand the global markets, in trying to know how they have been using tools or technologies to solve this problem. What we realize is that most of the solutions that people have deployed is a more enterprise solutions, enterprise driven, SaaS model, etc., and all that. We have not seen many players, or we have not seen any player taking a consumer tech approach. And we felt that if you have to solve this problem at that scale, being a consumer platform is more important. And that's where we are getting into more a consumer tech kind of a thing, similar to a mobile app, engagement with the users, etc., and all that. And definitely we see a lot more traction. Fortunately or unfortunately, we are one of the very few guys who are using a consumer tech approach to solve this problem. Because of which, the positive part is that there's no competition right now. So whomever we meet, the users, they're not heard about the story, so they're excited, they're positive, they want to adopt these tools and technologies. Same time, it's challenging because they're not aware of it. They're not aware of the possibility of this can happen. So that's the challenge that we are trying to face right now. But it's definitely it's good fun, and we are seeing a lot of traction from the end users to adopt our applications.
Okay, that's actually great. And so, you actually shared about it. So, in that case, I would love to know: are there any competitors that you have, or it's just you? In then, like, in Indian market, if I'll be precise to it, like, it's just you, or do we have any competitors as well in
See,
this space?
yeah, interesting. I think if you look at from a simple direct sense perspective, it appears that the competition is limited or no competition because no one is approaching this problem through a consumer tech approach, where we are trying to integrate the consumer play and the utility play as well. But strictly speaking, there is competition. Typically what we do is, if you really want to move to a climate friendly power, we are just trying to be a clean energy partner for the end users, energy partner, where we are trying to giving them some kind of a EV charging solutions or energy management solutions, or we're also trying to give some kind of a battery solutions and solar solutions, etc. So, but if you look at specific compartments of, let's say, solar, EV, etc., there are already many players, and it's crowded out there where people are trying to do that. But most of them are more asset-centric approaches, are OEM-driven solutions, are basically hardware-driven solutions. So here we are more hardware agnostic or technology agnostic. We are more software driven, asset light, where we are trying to be in every app and every home possible. So in that way, you can say that there is competition if you look at from a domain perspective, but from a business model perspective, from our approach perspective, from a software perspective, we have not seen much of a competition. But definitely, this is at a very nascent stage, and we are seeing a lot of interest from many players. So we do expect a lot of friends joining the bandwagon to compete with this.
Truly amazing. So, what is the response of students? Like, have you thought of asking students that about this thing? Are they aware of it? According to you, how's the awareness among the students, or we can say the teenagers, among this great change?
I think, if you look at from a student perspective or a teenage millennial crowd perspective, right, I would rather try to focus on two things. One is nothing to do with climate change per se, but in general, we definitely see a startup opportunity booming quite a bit. And I seriously suggest people to evaluate startup as a career opportunity because there is an immense amount of opportunity to learn, upskill, and grow. And I can, I've been here for almost about 20 years in this space, in the career space or enterprise space. And at the age of 45, I try to learn new things, and I get excited every day. There is a lot of excitement and trying to identify new opportunities or failing fast, etc., and all that. So I seriously suggest you guys to explore the opportunity of startups. And because there's a steep hockey stick kind of a growth of learning is what I can say that part. Apart from a startup, in the second message, if you look at on the climate change part, frankly speaking, it is a millennial crowd which is putting a lot of pressure on the governments, on the global players, in putting the pressure to move to climate friendly power. And in India, we are not seeing much of a traction or much of a pressure on that, but we do see the change happening because it is this kind of a generation who are emphasizing that they want climate friendly power, electric vehicles, etc., and all that. So we are very happy to serve you guys and happy to learn from you guys as well. So as part of that, what we are also trying to do is that we are running some kind of a campaigns in colleges and schools so that they become much more aware of what all options are available. And the best part of our solution or the best part of the current state of affairs with respect to climate friendly power is that it is not only environment friendly but it's also profitable. What it means is that it's very easy to move to climate friendly power and start making money. For the first time in the country, we believe that users can see new income called energy income by moving to climate friendly power. For the first time, it's happening, guys. So you can fill your wallets by being energy efficient and by being climate friendly conscious customers.
Actually, I wanted to know about this only. So, why you thought of this idea of putting up earning point with the energy climate thing? Was it for the people's motivation, or what was the thought process behind this? Because this is something that's really amazing and interesting at the same time for the students who want to get started with this and who wants to understand this. So, what was the thought process of yours behind this?
Again, going back to the again same problem statement, right? It's a massive problem that we are about to solve, right? And unless you have a mass scale adoption, we don't see a solution to the problem that we are going there, right? And what we see is today, if you look at the climate friendly power, right, is so competitive vis-a-vis your thermal power generation, right? Today, the likes of coal power or gas power are so expensive, they're not able to compete with renewable power. There were olden days where renewable power has to be subsidized, people have to promote with some government subsidies and incentives, etc. Today, the renewable power is very competitive vis-a-vis your incumbent generation like coal, thermal, etc., and all that. Unfortunately, it's just that people are not aware of these benefits, and some of the regulatory interventions or policies are not conducive to accelerating this part. So, given the understanding of the space, what if you look at the unit economics, right? We clearly see that there is a lot of amount of value on the table or earning potential by shifting to climate friendly power, and that's where we felt that By moving to that, there is a huge amount of money that people can make. Today, building owners are happy to adopt our tools because, I mean, because of COVID, there are a lot of people who have lost rental incomes, right? And today, we are trying to be an additional income generator for these buildings, for tenants, for businesses, for individual household owners. So by using our app or using our solutions, we see a clear-cut opportunity where people can earn money. And the best part is that while earning money, you are moving towards climate-friendly power. And same thing, you are not only earning money, you are also helping the government to earn money, helping the utilities to earn money as well. So that's we felt that from all the stakeholder perspective, it's definitely a win-win situation for all of us, right? Yeah, it's
That's
pure unit economics, in that which we have.
Yeah, exactly. Like this was the idea that I haven't heard from like recent times, because this is something that is really very much interesting, and also, as you mentioned, it's a win-win situation for the both the sides. So this is something that is required in the startups, that we feel like, yeah, this is something that is required for the students, and yeah. So, concluding this podcast, I would just want you to tell us something, that what is your future vision of this? Like, what, like, according to you, what could be the future of this? Like, will it be something that would be more scalable, or will there be like something ups and downs you might face? What are your point of view on that?
Yeah, I mean, obviously there'll always be ups and downs, and that's a fun, right, of a startup, etc., and all that. And we're looking forward for that, and a lot of learning as well. In terms of whatever experimentation that we do, hypothesis we test, it'll give us a lot of insights on how to position our business, how to position our solutions, etc., and all that. So when it comes to what the future that we're looking at, it's very interesting, right? I think obviously it's easy to say that we need to have 100% climate friendly power, and we believe it is doable. I think the future becomes much more exciting when you are trying to say the consumer is the center of this entire transition, you know, and how do you make that happen? And what is our vision to make that happen? Is that's where the interesting part comes in. So, for example, let's say I don't know, take Bangalore, right? For example, right? Let's say users in Indira Nagar or Kormangala have to become 100% climate friendly power, right? So we have two choices. One is the government working on behalf of the users and try to buy 100% renewable power 24 by 7 and supplying power to these guys, which we believe is going to be very expensive, which is very inefficient, not just by the government, by the business model per se as well, which we think that is not the most efficient way of building the energy of the future. And what we believe to build that future is that the consumer be the center of the entire business model, and the area we are trying to build urban microgrids, which means that every area becomes a self-sufficient grid by itself. Every building, every user in that particular community try to become climate conscious and contribute to that particular urban area or a community by being climate friendly. So he contributes by generating local renewable power and consumes renewable power from the local market as well. And he also provides local storage services, which are very important to make this vision a reality. So that is the energy of the future that we're envisaging, where every user plays an active role within his local community to become climate friendly power. So what it also means that he is contributing by selling and consuming renewable power, and also by buying renewable power as well from the local market.
That's something that I was always thinking of. Like this, especially your future vision is something that's gonna make a huge change for our generation at the same time. So thanks a lot for coming in today and having a podcast with us. This has been an amazing podcast, and a new learning that we have all gained today. So thank you so much for everyone, and see you all in the next tech podcast series. Bye bye.
Thanks, Ravi. Thanks a lot. Pleasure having you here. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye bye.